everyone, it is Teacher Erica back with a new VIPKid video and a new look. So grab a coffee, grab some tea or just a cold drink, settle in with me, and let's talk about what the heck is VIPKid even. Welcome back to another VIPKid video. I have been with VIPKid just over a month, and I realized I had posted a couple of videos about my first week and my first month, but some people may be thinking, what the heck is VIPKid? So if you are, this video is for you. Just to start it off, VIPKid provides an international learning experience to children between the ages of 4 and 12. I would actually say they can be as young as 3, and my oldest student has been as old as 14, so that varies a little bit. The company offers fully immersive one-on-one English language instruction online by qualified teachers. So basically you will be teaching English as a second language to children in China who speak Chinese. And this is a flipped classroom approach. So what this means is instead of a normal classroom where these kids go and they sit and they listen to a lecture all day long and the teacher speaks to them, in this classroom, they do most of the speaking, and the teacher is there to foster that. So a lot of times in the younger levels, it should be about 50-50, how much the teacher talks versus the student. And then as you get into older levels, the student is actually talking a lot more than you are. So that's just to start off. So now that you know the basics, VIPKid is teaching online. The curriculum is already built for you. It is hugely popular in China. So they have, I want to say, like 700,000 students and about 60 to 70,000 teachers. So there's a lot of demand in this space. And you get the opportunity to work with these children, and you pick your own schedule. So we'll go into all of those details. But to start out, let's talk about what you are going to, or how you can qualify to even work for VIPKid. So first and foremost, and I would say probably most importantly, is you need a bachelor's. You cannot be working towards a bachelor's. You have to have a bachelor's degree. It does not have to be in education. It can be in literally anything, but you have to have completed a 4-year bachelor's degree in order to qualify. If you don't, there's no real point in even trying to apply because you will get denied. The second one that is actually a little more vague is 1 year's experience with children. So this can be any experience with children. Were you a babysitter, a camp counselor? Did you ever tutor? Were you a stay-at-home mom? Were you a homeschooler? Literally any experience with kids. And I'm not saying a year in a row. Like in your whole life, do you have a year's experience with kids? If you can say yes to that, honestly, you can click yes here. This does not mean you worked in a daycare, you were a teacher, you worked some sort of child-related job. It is literally, do you have a year's worth of experience with children? So keep that in mind when you're filling that out. And then from there, you can move forward. If you kind of meet those two qualifications. And I think the last one that is kind of important is they will ask you if English is your first language. So you do need to be a native English speaker. And they are looking for neutral accents. So they want people that don't sound like they have an accent, essentially. If your voice sounds very southern or perhaps very northern or has a bit of an accent, you may get through part of the process, but then once they actually have the opportunity to hear you speak, you could get denied. So just keep that in mind. They are looking for very neutral accents, and you have to be a native English speaker. So those are your 3 things: bachelor's degree, 1 year's experience with children, and you need to be a native English speaker. So you'll put in your basic info, and then you'll be invited to an interview. Now, VIPKid's come a long way in the different ways that you can interview. They have everything from a mock demo that you can record, 2 minutes of you kind of teaching. I did the longer demo where you record a few minutes of yourself teaching, and they give you some like practice and tips before you do that. And then you can actually do a face-to-face interview. I just felt more comfortable kind of following some directions and sending something in versus doing an online interview. So once you complete that process, you will go on to certification. And I will make a whole separate video on getting certified because this involves a mock class where you will teach a mock class to a teacher. A mock class mentor is what they're called. And they will act like a 5-year-old child and you will teach a 10-minute class to them. And people got really nervous about these. You get multiple opportunities. Like once you get to the mock class, you really can't fail out. You can take it again and again and again, but you have to get certified before you can move forward. And then after you get certified in at least one of your levels, you will then be prompted to do a background check and to upload all the photos for your profile, and then you will also put in your education, proof that you have a bachelor's degree, add any other secondary education. You will also be required to get an ESL certification of some kind. So I did the TEFL or TOEFL through VIPKid. They offer it free, like you can just take a course. It's only good for VIPKid, however. But if that's the only company that you're planning on working for, it's fine. There are other options, like you can go to Groupon and find like 120 ESL course for or 120-hour ESL course for like $20. So you can go that route and work for any company, or you can just do the one that VIPKid offers you, but you're going to have to do that as well. So yeah, once you put in all your information, you will make a profile that parents are able to see, and leave a note in the comments, like if you're interested in seeing videos about this, about how to get hired with a mock class mentor, how to make a really great profile, because I feel like the profile that I put together early on really helped me get a lot of bookings in the beginning. And I know there's no like special secret formula, but I probably at least have some tips. So let me know if that is something you're interested in. And then I also made a video where you can go and see how I made $1,600 in my first month at VIPKid, and I think a lot of that has to do with my profile, and I do touch on that in that video. So once you get through that entire process, you are now an independent contractor for VIPKid, and you can open your first slots. So this is one of the pros for me for VIPKid is you pick the times that you want to work. So starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, you can open times. Classes are 25 minutes each. Essentially, you will teach between 25 and 28 minutes and get a 5 to 3-minute break if you are teaching back-to-back classes. You can teach from 8:30 p.m. Eastern until right now. Today is September the 13th, 2019. So this is about to change very soon because of some regulations in the Ministry of Education China, but students will not be allowed to take online courses after 9 p.m. Beijing time. And like currently in Eastern time, we are 12 hours behind. Time zones, time travel. We are 12 hours behind. So when they do away with that 9 p.m. Time slot, it will also do away with the 9 a.m. time slot Eastern. So currently you can teach from 8:30 p.m. all the way through until 10 a.m. in the morning. And that's when the time slots shut down because typically students are sleeping after 10 p.m. their time. So the first month I just went all in and opened like as many slots as I possibly could, and I was working overnight and I was doing all the trial classes. It was just crazy. But after that I started to really call it down, and now I just open slots typically from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. These are called peak times, or PPT, or hot times, and basically that's where they see the most bookings, because if you think about it, it's 7 to 9 p.m. in the evening in Beijing. But I usually start getting bookings around 3-4 a.m. if I open those slots, because it's right after kids are coming home from school. I found that in August I could get a lot of night classes. I haven't really tried in September because if you think about it, at 8:30 at night, it's 8:30 in the morning. So now a lot of the children in Beijing are going back to school since it's September. But on the weekends, I still open a lot of night slots and overnights just because I like the extra money, and they all typically get booked from 8:30 on. I don't love to teach back-to-backs, like 9, 10, 11 of them. So I'll usually leave in the evenings on weekends one spot in between just so I get a little break. But during the week, I teach from 7 to 9 a.m. for back-to-back classes every single day. But that's the beauty of it, is you really get to pick your own schedule. And like, I have work travel coming up next week for my job, and I have the choice of whether I want to try to teach from the hotel room before I have work meetings, or if I just want to not teach those days, or if I'm going on vacation for a week, I just don't have to open my schedule. So you're not required to work any specific hours. Major plus. Another pro, I think, for me is the way that the pay works. Like, I think the pay is really reasonable. And so how this works is you will get a base pay kind of based on how you did in your mock class, all the qualifications that you have, the certifications, etc. As far as I know, 95%, I'm making this up, 95% of teachers make an $8 base rate. Now, this is per class. So, $8, 25 minutes, which means in an hour, off the cuff, you're automatically making $16 an hour if you have 2 classes, right? So then you start building on incentives. So this is where I feel like you can really start making some great money, because as soon as you show up and participate in teacher class, you get an extra dollar. So now I'm at $9 per class, or $18 an hour. If the class is booked in less than 24 hours, it is considered short notice, and you get an extra $2 per class. So now it's $10 a class, $20 an hour, plus your participation for $1 is putting you at $21 an hour. Then, if you teach at least 45 classes in a month, you will get an extra $1 per class. So now, if I've taught 45 classes, I'm up to $22 an hour. So that's just for your major courses. You can pretty much make up to $22 an hour pretty easily. So then you have trial classes, and it's totally up to you if you want to get trial certified. You don't have to, but you do have trial classes. So trial classes are a little bit different. If they show up, you get your base pay. You still get your participation. The cool thing about trials is if they sign up directly after taking your trial class, you get an extra $5 bonus. So my first month, I converted 6 trials. It's $30 extra. And you get kind of a rush converting trials, or at least I do, because you feel like you really taught so well that they like wanted to spend their money with VIPKid, and I think that's like kind of a rush or a compliment. I don't know. So I did a ton of trials my first month because I just didn't have any regular students yet, and I was taking literally anything I could get. And so that gave me a lot of opportunity to convert trials. And then this month I've had less trials, but of the 4 or 5 that I've had, I've converted 2. So I always say, like, make sure you're converting trials because it's extra money. But yeah, so if you really think about it, with all the different incentives that you can get, you can really make some decent hourly coin. I mean, to me, $22 an hour is pretty good, and I only have to work a couple hours a day. So that's another major pro for me, is that you do get compensated nicely. One of the cons, I think, is a couple of things. The policy for cancellations and no-shows can be a little harsh. So just for reference, if you cancel more than 2 days in advance, it does count against your stats. It will show that you canceled classes. If you do it in less than 24 hours, it will count as a cancellation and you lose a little bit of money. And then if you do it like within an hour or 2 of the class, you actually have to pay $10. So it's really not good to book a class and then not have to teach it. And after so many like teacher no-shows or like not good cancellations, you can really lose your contract. And parents can see these stats. So if you seem unreliable, they're unlikely to book you. You can have soft cancellations, so they still count as a cancellation, but it won't count against your stats if you have like a doctor's note or something like that. But in general, it's just really rigid once you've booked a class. There's really not a lot you're going to do to get out of having to cancel and it looking kind of bad. I had one teacher no-show. It really didn't hurt me. I was able to put that it was a personal emergency or a family emergency, but it's not ideal. So really, that can be kind of rough if you just find yourself in a situation where you're in an emergency and you have to cancel like days worth of classes and your contract is now in jeopardy. And it's really difficult to kind of work with support sometimes and get things overturned or changed. So that can be a bit of a con. Honestly, it hasn't affected me that much, knock on wood, in the month that I've been doing this, but I could see how it could be difficult for some people. Another potential con is not being able to really pick your students. I think that's fine, but I have seen a lot of talk where teachers wish they didn't have to teach certain students just because of behavioral issues or something inappropriate happened, or they feel like the student is really abusive to them, or they just don't feel like they're the right teacher. And I guess I see both sides where it would be difficult for VIPKid to allow teachers not to teach certain students. But as an independent contractor, you should be able to have some sort of control over who you give services to, especially if you feel like they are abusing your service in some way. So that could be a potential con for some people. I think, though, there are so many more pros beyond just the money and the flexibility. It's really a fulfilling experience. Like, you are connecting with and teaching young children in China like how to speak conversational English, and this can be a really rewarding experience and fun if you like kids. And you can do it from anywhere as long as you have internet and a computer or iPad and, you know, a couple of props. So it's just a really great experience. It's been a great experience for me so far as a second job. I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to answer any more questions. I think I will leave the video at that. I hope I did a good job explaining from an overview what VIPKid is, but definitely leave any questions in the comments if you have them, or let me know what else you'd like to see a video about. I can make videos about everything from the interview process, the mock class, how to pass it on your first try, and, you know, more insight into what teaching at VIPKid is really like. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video. It really helps me, and it takes like 2 seconds. Subscribe and click the bell if you do want to get notified when I post videos. I post VIPKid videos and or art videos just about once a week here. So I would love it if you would join me for making and creating your life. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.